The main goal in our future vision or the transformation process is, of course, to address the shortage of specialists. I think AI solutions are really important for working in the future.
The world is moving faster and development is progressing at a speed that is almost no longer possible for traditional development.
A human being is not in the full extent able to get these deep insights by only looking at its own. So this is where automation is really crucial to use. It's getting even more important to reduce the time to market in the end. So with automation, it is possible.
In the year 2000, 58 million vehicles were produced worldwide, and in 2022, we produced 85 million, and that's growth of 46%.
How will the job profile or description of an engineer change, especially now that AI is coming up?
I think AI will not kill jobs, but will make jobs more important. And with our AI solution, it is possible to reduce the conventional simulation time.
Ladies and gentlemen, super excited to have two EDAG guys in today's Connected Engineering podcast. And we'll talk about challenges in the automotive industry, as well as how we can reshape it as engineers and maybe the engineers of the future. But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, can you give us a quick introduction? Maybe Thomas first, and then Richard.
Hi, everybody. My name is Thomas Ketterle, and I have been working at EDAG for around about 10 years. I started as a developer in the body and white department, and 2 years after I became a project manager. 3 years after I became a team leader, and 6 months ago I switched in the business unit system supply as a key account manager. And I also look after special and sales topics in the area of innovations, including Synera. That's why I'm here today, and will introduce the topic with Richard.
Yes, my name is Richard Kordaß. I'm working in the innovation department of EDAG, meanwhile since 6 years. I have a background in additive manufacturing, and since March this year, I'm head of innovation area digitalization, so dealing with new topics regarding automation, AI, and digitalization in our core business.
Really cool. Very glad to have you on the show. And AI is going to be one of the core topics of today's session. Maybe to give people an overview, what is ADAC actually doing? Like, what is your guys' main business? Maybe Thomas, if you want to explain that.
ADAC is one of the largest independent service providers in the world, and that is the reason why we are so interesting for large OEMs, but also startups. And I know over 15 years ago, ADAC started with our then owner Edmund Vollmer as a classic engineering office and has developed into a development service provider in all classes. And therefore we can develop from the blank sheet of paper to the end of production across many industries. For example, motor vehicle, motorcycle, bicycle, aerospace, smart cities, and something like that.
Interesting. Anything else you would add here, Richard, or did he summarize that pretty well?
I think our core competence is really full vehicle development. So we have all competencies in house that are needed to develop a complex product, as well as the production process, like a car.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, the transformation process can be felt everywhere. And in my opinion, things are going to be faster in the area of connected service. For example, Car2X, and we're moving from a car manufacturer to a mobility service provider. And this development is also evident in the area of vehicle development. And one of the keywords in this case can be Synera.
Yeah, we'll also talk about Synera later on in this podcast. I think you guys are the experts. Can you talk a little bit about current challenges in engineering? Like, what are some of the most common challenges, especially when it comes to maybe the automotive industry?
Yeah, our challenge is to bring our expertise, efficiently into the project. And the world is moving faster and faster, and development is progressing at a speed that is almost no longer possible for traditional development. And cost and time pressure in product development set clear priorities. For example, in the year 2000, 58 million vehicles were produced worldwide. And in 2022, we produced 85 million. And that's growth of 46%. And Globalizing has arrived and competition is increasing, and that is a really important finding, in my opinion. And EDAG has understood that tools and process needs to be adapted and improved, and new tools come onto the market and support us in this. And as a company, we have to be open to it and react quickly. That's what the past has shown us. And EDAG, definitely understood that. Right, Richard?
Yes, definitely. So that's also why I'm here. And yeah, of course, the main goal in our future vision or the transformation process is, of course, to address the shortage of specialists by remaining our excellence. So this is really crucial, and to improve our customers' experience, both in project results, but also in the time to market. So this is our thread why we want to bring in digitalization topics. And we're integrating their state-of-the-art tools in our process chains and methods like AI solutions or also automation like using Synera. And of course, securing expert knowledge when our experts retire is also a really important point to remain compatible on the market.
Mm. You talked about some cutting-edge digitalization solutions. Can you name some other solutions apart from Synera? If you can, of course. That would be quite interesting, I think, for the audience. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, of course. AI is, I think there's no area where AI is not going into. So I think AI solutions are really important for the working in the future. So this is, I think, the most important trend that we have to follow, or that we have to analyze and use for our business. But there's also, especially in the engineering business, there's lots of automation topics already available. Most important is, of course, hard coding, mainly in Python scripts, or also Visual Basic scripts that can be included into conventional CAD environments, for example. But of course, there's also proprietary solutions like from Dassault Systems or from Siemens available on the market here.
Yeah. Could you name maybe or talk about some case studies that you have worked on explicitly and what the outcomes were?
Yeah. So, for example, we had our Eagle project. So we had an internal pre-development project for automated development of a whole electric drive, including the electric machine, dimensioning of the gears, shafts, the choice of the correct bearings, and development of the case, complying with casting restrictions. This was realized with Synera, and the design was done both in Synera and in CATIA. Then maybe one other exciting topic is the closed loop engineering, where we record loads via sensors during driving of a car, of our CityBot. So this is our idea of the mobility ecosystem of the future. We are putting these loads into a database, and we adjust or redesign a part in the vehicle to its specific use and actual loads for maximum sustainability by lightweight design. One other automation topic is the automated battery packaging. So we developed an automatism also in Synera, which can take a given boundary box, so this is the battery casing, and requirements like electrical requirements, and it is iteratively searching in a database of existing battery cells and packaging them into this boundary box, respecting the given requirements. And the final result is a perfect fit solution for the given bounding box, the chosen battery cells with the highest cell-to-pack level, and in the end also deeper technical insights into the technological dependencies than it would be possible with manual work. So our environment or our tasks, our technical systems are getting more and more complex, and a human being is not able or not in a full extent able to get these deep insights by only looking at its own. So this is where automation is really crucial to use.
Mm-hmm. I think also maybe a comment is because you mentioned in the beginning that you kind of support or help like from end to end kind of automotive production, for example, that it's like incredibly complex, the whole R&D process, right? So there's a lot of tools involved from like the design phase to the prototyping phase and so on and so forth. So when you first got in touch with Synera, formerly called Elise, what was your first impression of like having access to different tools in one interface? Like what was your first thought? Maybe Thomas and then Richard.
Yeah, I think it's quite exciting, the possibility to have a low-code solution so that automation topics can be democratized, so that nearly every engineer is being able to automate its own tasks and or also connecting tasks. So as you already mentioned, the engineering topic, especially for complex products like cars or vehicles, is highly iterative. So we have lots of departments that are feeding their inputs into the development. And this is in the end crucial because we have lots of interfaces between the departments and the experts. And this always takes some time, these iterations. And sometimes, of course, we are trying to hinder this in our best extent. But sometimes there's also a lack of information flow. And this is where automation can help, of course, to remain excellent or to get higher excellence even, and to shorten the development time, so to reduce time to market in the end.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a random question right now. Do you know roughly how many tools like engineers use? Like from, let's say we talk about like from the concept phase until the prototyping phase and then the full production. Like, do you know maybe a rough estimate how many tools there are, like engineering tools that are being used from end to end? Just a rough estimate, maybe. So
this is a question that's not clear to answer because different producers, different OEM work with different tool sets. So this can range from, let's say, dozens, a few dozens, up to hundreds of tools. So it's really a large extent of tools, yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the adoption of Synera, like how was it from your side, maybe Thomas, in terms of the partnership? Like how did Synera help you guys adopt the low-code solution?
I think it's becoming more and more important to enter into partnerships these days, especially when there is mutual benefit. And that is the reason why EDAG and Synera have concluded a partnership agreement. We appear on the market together and offer our service bundle. And this leads to a very special constellation. We open mutual and therefore shared doors. And in short, we have the same mindset.
That is interesting. I think when you guys use Synera, right, I think there's something what we should mention, which is kind of the front-loading approach. So basically using tools, maybe digitalization tools or any tools basically to front-load processes. I think it would be really important to define what is front-loading in the first place and how would you, Richard, define the engineering 2.0 approach?
Front-loading means that you bring in requirements at a really early stage and that already the concepts are coping the requirements. So we can develop concepts which really cope all the requirements from the beginning on, so that we have variants, different variants being produced in the early stages of development process, which already fulfill the requirements. So since systems are getting more and more complex, as I already mentioned, and dependencies are difficile, it's getting even more important to reduce the time to market in the end. So with automation, it is possible to integrate front loading and covering many different inputs, which can change more easily than in conventional parametric modeling, since the process is designed and not the part. Yeah, so and with this, it is also possible to already include like production needs and requirements in all design phases and iterations, and not only to bring into production needs at the end of the design phase.
In the beginning of the podcast, we obviously mentioned AI, so I think now it's the time to maybe talk about some AI use cases. Richard, tell us how AI could potentially be helpful or beneficial to engineers.
Yeah, so AI is nothing new at all. So we use AI already a couple of years, if we know or not. So Google Maps, for example, has AI in background. But of course, with being able to work with AI on your own, using ChatGPT, for example, this changed the world completely. So everybody now knows something about AI, and there's different approaches in the engineering world using AI out there. So, for example, we developed our own AI solution, what is able to predict simulation values of a pedestrian protection crash simulation to gain the Euro NCAP stars for simulation topics. And with our AI solution, it is possible to reduce the conventional simulation time from 4 to 6 weeks. And especially the meshing is important, or takes a lot of time. Of course, our AI solution works in just some seconds or minutes, but we have to care about the data, the correct data, and we need with our AI process around about 1 to 2 days to have the results, which are in the same extent like the simulation results. So this can help already, or again, the front-loading approach, that we bring in the needs for pedestrian protection in an early stage, and we have a defined picture or a detailed picture what is coming from our AI solution already in a really early phase, and we don't have to wait for the simulation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
go for it.
But we also see that there's lots of developments on the market. So nearly every producer of simulation software is now also claiming that they are integrating AI aspects into their solutions, and I think this will be more important in the future, and we will see more solutions out there. And it will be crucial, of course, to find those AI solutions which are also able to do what they predict.
Okay. Any additional comments from your side, Thomas, in terms of AI? Maybe not the technical aspect, but like the future of AI, maybe especially relevant for the engineers.
I have the exactly same meaning as Richard. I think AI will concern us more and more in the future, and what matters is where we use it and how. And what kind of data do we use as a basis, and what kind of results do we expect? And in short, I think AI will be revolutionary in many ways. Which ones remain to be seen?
Mm-hmm. How would you say, Richard, how will the job profile or description of an engineer change, especially now that AI is coming up? A lot of people say AI will kill a lot of jobs. Maybe that's the case for some jobs, but how do you think the engineer will be augmented in terms of AI, but also the upskilling aspect, right? So some engineers, they might not know about AI, how it works, when it can be used, when is the right time to use it. So do you have a recommendation maybe for all the listeners? When is the right time, and how do you actually get into AI? I know it's a long question, but maybe you have an answer for that.
So I think AI will not kill jobs, but will make jobs more important. So especially engineers' jobs, because AI can produce results, of course. We also have generative AI like ChatGPT, for example, Google Gemini, or other topics, other tools that are available out there, which can be used by nearly everybody. But when you have already used one of these tools, you know that it's crucial to check the results always. And the job of the engineer will become more important to check the results and to bring a reliable solution on the market in the end. Of course, that's still the job already from today's engineers, but this will get more important, and automation and AI will more or less cancel the boring tasks or the tasks which just take a lot of time. And this is where AI and automation will help engineers to remain their precious time to the really important things. For example, reporting is a good part. What can be automated quite well, and this is a task which normally takes a lot of time and is not bringing any further results than just to bring the results on some slides.
Absolutely. Earlier in the podcast, I think, Richard, you mentioned that you have like hundreds, maybe even thousands of conditions that you have to kind of mimic in the digitalization or the tool that you basically use, and that's intended for the digitalization purpose. Do you think this is kind of ADAC's secret or like secret sauce, because you have such a vast amount of experience that you guys actually know how things work? You can just like, when you adopt a tool like Synera, you can just say, okay, we know how it works, let's just get it done. So for you, it's way faster because you have all these years of experience. Would you say that's the case?
Yes. So, of course, when you automate the development of a part and not the part itself, or if you describe the process, how the part is being developed, then it's getting even more important that you know your processes. And of course, we have the engineers or the experts in-house who define the processes, and they know quite well about the processes which are being used today. And these have to be transferred into automation topics. And this is also where automation and AI will play a really important role for us. Not only for us, but also for our customers, for our competitors, for the whole engineering market in the near and especially also in the far future.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, then I think we can wrap it up. Any closing remarks from your side, Thomas or Richard? Anything we might have forgotten in terms of like misconceptions from engineers, trends, maybe future outlooks from your side?
I think if I may add some insights into the AI, it's of course important to care about AI solutions, but this also takes lots of time. Already by analyzing existing tools to use the right tool for you, for your application. But when developing AI tools on your own, then that's of course even more time consuming. And of course, you also need experts who are able to.
Cool. With that very short and crisp podcast, if people are interested listening to this episode, maybe to delving deeper into the AI process, how the actual case study looked like, let us know in the comments. And I'll link also to Richard's and Thomas' profile on LinkedIn, so you can actually reach out to them if you have any further questions. Thanks so much to both of you. And I'm looking forward to maybe a second episode in the near term. Thanks, guys.
Great. Thank you. Thank you too for having us. And see you next time.